Good evening, guys. Welcome to this video. I trust and hope you've been having a fantastic day today. We're going to talk about these variety of systems. It's pretty active out there. Nothing unusual based on the time of year. We still have Hurricane Erin holding on to that Category 2 intensity. And there are 3 disturbances. This is the most recent addition to the map. So this one here has a very low chance to develop. I'm really not expecting much of it. Just a small concentrated area of some action that may not materialize into much. Either way, not a problem for anyone. So we're not going to really talk about that. But we've got what is now designated as Invest 90L just to the east of the Leeward Islands. That's close by. It's been bringing some moisture to the area. Some of our lesser Antilles have been experiencing some periods of rainfall today, just as forecast. And then there is Invest 99L. So that disturbance, which is holding on, it's really trying to continually produce all that convection. So let's get into the details about these systems. Okay, here we are looking at the satellite imagery. We can see that massive hurricane out there, Erin. It's been around for quite some time. It will eventually approach the end of its lifetime in the coming days, but it is still bringing those impacts, especially in terms of those marine conditions for Bermuda as well as the east coast of the states. And there we can see all that action associated with Invest 90L. And then 99L out there, well away from the Caribbean at this time, but it's going to be moving towards the region. It's headed west, and we can see that it has been sustaining quite a bit of activity as well. So let's talk about these systems in a bit more detail. We'll be primarily focused on Invest 90 and 99L. So we're starting out with Invest 90L here. We can see that, as I mentioned, it's been producing quite a bit of action. It's been resulting in some periods of heavy rain and thunderstorms in sections of the Lesser Antilles. So you can let me know what the weather has been like for you. As we head into tomorrow, we may see a similar story, maybe some additional periods of heavy rain, but the track has been gradually shifting for the system, so it's going to be staying out of the Caribbean, fortunately. However, still bringing those periods of heavy rain. This is kind of best case scenario with the system compared to what we saw when it was first marked on the graphic. So definitely seeing a positive change there. And as it pertains to our models, let's look at the model track and intensity guidance. So we'll be looking at it for both invest areas. So for 90L, we don't have a whole ton of models available, but we can see that a general consensus among them in regards to the system moving to the northwest, eventually moving to the north, and then out to the northeast. It may make a very close approach to Bermuda. So Bermuda has been dealing with some impacts from Erin, and another system may be on the way. So it is pretty likely to intensify into the next named storm of the season, and that next system, the next name to be used rather, is Fernand. So we could see this eventually become Fernand over the coming days. And in terms of intensity guidance, again, not a whole ton of models, but we have a substantial amount. And we can see that they all go up into that green shaded zone, which is representative of tropical storm intensity. Even going up to hurricane intensity, we see Cat 1, Cat 2. So most models are agreeing that the system could eventually make it to hurricane status. But the good thing, again, it's going to be out there. However, it could be a problem for Bermuda. May make a much closer approach compared to Erin. Now, as it relates to Invest 99L, now the chance has slightly risen once more for the system. Now 50-50 chance we could see some development in the short term. But as we head into the weekend, conditions are likely to become more hostile within the vicinity of the system. So it's going to be moving generally to the west. And in the long term, when it approaches the Caribbean and moves to the western part of the basin, it will have another shot at potentially becoming something. I've been noticing the trends, especially with the GFS. It's been showing that it's going to be just a regular tropical wave headed west, and then as it encounters more conducive conditions, possibly in the West Caribbean or even the Gulf, we could see something more become of it. But that will all be dependent on the steering mechanisms, and especially for something that far out, there is no guarantee as to what it will do. But here we are looking at the system on the satellite imagery. Here it is producing some action. It's been sustaining quite a bit of showers and thunderstorms ever since it was marked. So it's been a fighter out there. We'll see if it remains a fighter over the coming days, but I'm not expecting much for it for the short term. As I mentioned, long term, let's look at the intensity and the track guidance for this disturbance here. So we can see it appears as though more models are available for 99L compared to 90L. So here we can see that they're mostly showing a general westward trek of the system. And I mean, it is a tropical wave, and a lot of these tropical waves, they move generally westward. But with that weakened high pressure system out there, due to Erin's influence as well, that's why we're also seeing 90L moving up and out and not moving into the Caribbean, because there is not a dominant area of high pressure. But this system is likely to continue on that general westward trajectory. And as it pertains to intensity, we can see quite a few models available here as well. Notice that they're not really going up into that green shade for the short term. Here is the forecast hours. So 24 hours, it's a day, 48 hours, 2 days, and so on and so forth. As we head into maybe the next 4 to 5 days from now, we see some of our models take the system into tropical storm range there. So could there be long-term development? I'm going to be watching for that. So especially if it succumbs to the unfavorable environment ahead of it, we may see it being dropped off of the National Hurricane Center's map. But based on conditions down the road and where it will go, we may see it pop back up. That's not something unusual. We see it quite a lot with a lot of systems out there. They may struggle, but when they encounter the Western Caribbean or even the Pacific, the Eastern Pacific, they may go over there and intensify. So I'll be watching for that down the road. No guarantees as to what may happen, but as the system approaches the Caribbean in the coming days, we could see it result in a bit of a rain surge across some areas. And tropical waves are known for this. It's not really anything that's new or abnormal. I'll be keeping watch on these systems, guys. And as I mentioned, that other most recent disturbance, not much to talk about with regards to it. It may try to get itself together, has a very low chance of doing so. I'm not expecting much to become of it. And Erin will be approaching the end of its life, but still bringing impacts to some areas. So that's what I wanted to share with you this evening. I do hope you found this update to be informative, but if you should have any questions, please feel free to drop them down below in the comments. I will get to you when I can. And remember to always be weatherwise.